Devi Satavachaya Namo Namaha. Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. We offer our most respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the world who, just like desire trees, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for fallen, conditioned souls. Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. What's that? Songbook? That's you could use any kind of book. 66. It's an auspicious number. All right. Some nice bugs on it. What's that? All right. So this is Lord Chaitanya week. So, oh my God. Too bad the harmonium's not here. Someone keeps stealing it. Too bad the harmonium's not here. Someone keeps stealing it. It should always remain in the temple room. No, it's not. I already checked. I tell you, somehow or other on Sunday, someone takes it away and doesn't get back until the end of the week. So it's temple room facility. So no one should be taking these things out of the temple room. And I can't play that one. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kora More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kora More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kora More Tumamina Ke Dayalu Jagat Samsare Patitava Vanahetu Tavavatara Moshama Patita Prabhu Napaibeya Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balakan Akorawu Ami Boruduki Daya Korosita Pati Advaita Gosahe Tavakri Papole Pai Chaitanya Nita Aha Sarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Mata Jugasi Jiva Prabhu Lokanath Daya Koroshiyacharya Prabhu Srinivas Ramachandra Sangamage Narottamutakas Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dvaya Guru More Chaitanya Prabhu Dvaya Guru More Doma Bina Kedayalu Jagat Samsare Jaya Pancha Tatwa, Jaya Pancha Tatwa, Jaya Pancha Tatwa, Jaya Pancha Tatwa. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Paravatikacharya. Also Tetas Shimad, His Divine Grace. Abhaya Charanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nantakoti Vaishnava. Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya. Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna. Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha. Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Gijai. Shishi Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath. Sayam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kijai Vrindavanam Kijai Maturanam Kijai Jagadata Sami Kijai Yamuna Mai Kijai Shimati Lasi Devi Kijai Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Kijai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shilpavad Kijai. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya. Bhutale Shivati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauranga Jani. Never say Shunyabadi Pashtata Deshari. Can read the translation. My dear Lord, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your lordship within these three worlds? Your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls, but I assure you that you will not find a more fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. My dear Lord Nityananda, you're always joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be kind to me. If you are kind to me, naturally, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. I pray for the mercy of Swarup Damodar, the six Goswamis, namely, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Bhatta Raghunath Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and Lokanath Prabhu. I, Narottama Das, pray to the merciful Srinivas Acharya, and I always desire the company of Ramachandra. No sound on Zoom. She has problems. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, there's no sound. Hold on a second. Hare Krishna. One which I will not be capable of rectifying. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Anyway. Hare Krishna. Now. I get it. Yeah. The sound is working now. All right. Sorry. Anyway, so let's continue. This is Lord Chaitanya Week, because we are culminating on Sunday with Gaur Purnima, the glorious appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda, and Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Okay, so what I've picked in the Chaitanya Charitamrita to read today and to comment on is the last chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is entitled the Shikshashtaka Prayers. And in this particular chapter, we find Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifesting the intense moods of Srimati Radharani in relationship to the Shikshashika prayers. And this, of course, as mentioned previously, that the Acharyas talk about different Shikshashika, different ones of the Shikshashika prayers corresponding to the different stages of devotional service, the different times of the day of Krishna's Ashta Kaliya Leela. So, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this particular chapter is manifesting the mood of Srimati Radharani and how her mood relates to the verses of the Shikshashtika. Okay, so without further ado, we will start reading. I start with one. It's up there. First one in the 20th chapter of the Anjali. It's up there on the screen. Do you have the mouse? Rainmoon Bhavitar Sher Shad. No, we're not going to do this responsibly. We're just going to read. Veda Dain Yara Nirishtam Lapitam Gora Chandrasha Bhagyavabu Nishavyate. Happens when you get older. It's harder to read from the books. Only the most fortunate will relish the mad words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which were mixed with jubilation, envy, agitation, submissiveness, and grief, all produced by ecstatic, loving emotions. So, according to Mother Urmila's class yesterday, what are the symptoms called here? Does anyone remember yesterday's class? The different types of bhavas. Which type of bhava is this? No, not you. What? Vyabhachari or Sanchari bhava. Because they actually move throughout the whole body and affect one's whole physical body. Of course, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't have a physical body, but affect every aspect of one's being. And then, Jaya Jaya Gaurachandra, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Emata Mahaprabhu Vaise Nilachale Rajani Divase Krishna Virahe Vivole. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus resided at Jagannath Puri, Nilachala, he was continuously overwhelmed day and night by separation from Krishna. So Rupa Ramananda Dvijanasane Ratridine Rasa Gita Shloka Ashwadane. Day and night he tasted transcendental blissful songs and verses with two associates, namely Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy. It's also an interesting point here that it was only with his most intimate associates that he tasted these highest aspects of separation from Krishna, being in the mood of Radharani, and of Krishna's intimate pastimes, Vrindavan, only with his most intimate associates. We were talking about this last night, that in order for someone to have the adhikar, the right to actually approach these things, these subject matters, one has to be correspondingly free from any sort of material attachment. Vishaya Chariya Kabe Shura Habe Bhama Kabe Hama Hirabo Sri Vrindavana. So in accordance with one's freedom from material entanglement, material attachments, then one has the corresponding adhikara to approach, it's proportionate to approach Krishna's intimate pastimes. So then the question was raised last night by one of the devotees. Then, in other words, we shouldn't read any of these things at all from Prabhupada's books, and my answer was that when Prabhupada presents these things to us in his books, he's presenting things in such a way, he's encapsulating them with the whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness. You have the understanding of the tattvas, you have the understanding of the bhavs and the rasas and all the other different ingredients, the philosophical understanding, so that one is protected from an improper conception of Krishna's intimate pastime. So it's really important to understand that distinction. So therefore, if you are not on the level of being relatively freed from material desires, then you shouldn't be approaching certain literatures directly, such as Govinda Lilamrita and other literatures, or Ujjwala Nilamani. So one has to be very careful of these things. So let's continue. Nanabhava ute prabhura harsha shoka rosha dainyo dvega arti ut kantita santosha. He relished the symptoms of various transcendental emotions such as jubilation, lamentation, anger, humility, anxiety, grief, eagerness, and satisfaction. Say, bhave nija, shloka padya, shlokera artha ashvadaye, dvi bandhu lana. He would recite his own verses, expressing their meanings and emotions, and thus enjoy tasting them with these two friends. I got some friends are coming out of this garland too, so. Kona dine, kona bhave, shloka patana, say shloka ashvadaite, dite, sorry. Rachi Jagaranap. Sometimes the Lord would be absorbed in a particular emotion and would stay awake all night reciting related verses and relishing their taste. Harshe Prabhu Kahena, Shuna Swarupa Rama Raya, Nama Sankirtana Kalao, Parama Upaya. In great jubilation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, know from me that chanting the holy names is the most feasible means of salvation in this age of Kali. Sankirtana yagye kalu Krishna aradhana, seta sumeda paya Krishnara chanana." In this age of Kali, the process of worshiping Krishna is to perform sacrifice by chanting the holy name of the Lord. One who does so is certainly very intelligent, and he attains shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. Next text. A famous verse. Krishna varnam trisha krishnam sangopangastra parshadam yagyaye sankirtana praryara yajantihi sumeda sam. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So, in purport, Prabhupada gives the citation. This verse is spoken by Saint Karabhajana in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.532. For further information, see Adi Leela, chapter 3, text 52. Namasankirtana haite Sarva Narta Nasha Sarva Shubhodaya Krishna Primera Ulasa. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna, one can be freed from all undesirable habits. This is the meaning of awakening all good fortune and initiating the flow of waves for love of Krishna. Wow. Next verse, we start with the Shikshashtaka. Cheto Darpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadvagni Nirapanam Shreya Kaira Vichandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamritasvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step. Oh, you don't have it. Oh, yeah. Purport. This is the first verse of the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Shikshashtaka. The other 7 verses are found in texts 16, 21, 29, 32, 36, and 39, and 47. Sankirtana haite papa samsara nasana Chita Shuddhi Sarva Bhakti Sadhana Udgama. By performing congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, one can destroy the sinful condition of material existence, purify the unclean heart, and awaken all varieties of devotional service. Text 14. Krishna Premodgama Pranamrita Ashvadana Krishna Prapti Sevamrita Samudre Majana. The result of chanting is that one awakens his love for Krishna and tastes transcendental bliss. Ultimately, one attains the association of Krishna and engages in his devotional service as if immersing himself in the great ocean of love. Uttila Vishara Dainya Padayapana Shloka Yahara Artha Shuni Saba Yaya Dukkha Shoka. Lamentation and humility awoke within Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he began reciting another of his own verses. By hearing the meaning of that verse, one can forget all unhappiness and lamentation. So just listen, and then you will not be unhappy or lament again. If you hear it nicely. Text 16. Next Shikshashtaka. Namna Makari Bahuda Nitra Sarva Shakti Tatrapita Nimatas Bhavanena Kala Itadrasi Tava Kripa Bhagavad Namapi Durdayavam Idrasham Vihani Nanuraga. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for the living entity, and therefore you have many names such as Krishna and Govinda, by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for remembering them. My dear Lord, although you bestow such mercy upon the fallen conditioned souls by liberally teaching your holy names, I am so unfortunate that I commit offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I do not achieve attachment for chanting. So several things I think I should explain, even though in the purport there's no purport to this verse. We have this niyamena tishtan here, which means there's no hard and fast rules or restrictions for chanting. So one may say, why do we have the 4 regulative principles? Why do we have the 10 offenses against chanting? Why do we have all these rules like serving the Vaishnavas, taking initiation, and all this other nice stuff? Well, what's being referred to here is the Vedic injunctions, like time, place, and manner restrictions. In other words, when you're saying something like the Gayatri mantras, there's time, place, and circumstance injunctions. You say the Gayatri mantras at a certain time of the day. One time Prabhupada was asked by a devotee, actually this is Didi Garland, I don't want to see. He was asked by a devotee if we don't complete or say our Gayatri mantra at a particular time, could we say all 3 in the evening? And Prabhupada said no, because these mantras are meant to be chanted during the sanjas. Of course, if you happen to be in Finland or someplace like that, you're going to have a hard time figuring out when the sanjas are. But in any case, morning, noon, evening, you chant these mantras. And there's many different injunctions, just like I got a message from someone today that was very upset that we weren't following the Garuda Purana insofar as funerals. Because the Garuda Purana lists all these things. You have to go like 21 days, and I told them in Fiji you only go 3 days because that's what Prabhupada said. You only go 3 days. And the Garuda Purana talks about all such things, how the soul just hovers around for that period of time. So you got to do the whole program for 21 days. And so you got all these different injunctions like that. And basically, yes, for ordinary dealings, one should follow these different injunctions, not necessarily the whole Garuda Purana. We should follow what Prabhupada tells us to do. So, but insofar as transcendental subject matters, particularly the chanting of the holy name, there is no Vedic rule. It's not that you have to stop chanting because it's the evening. You can't chant when you're in an airplane. You can't chant when you're in the bathroom. I mean, so many people die when they're in the bathroom. I'm not allowed to chant right now. So, it's completely transcendental. That's one thing, Niyamena Tishtam. Although there are hard and fast connection rules with the, insofar as the chanting is concerned. That means if you want to connect more intensely, have more effect from the chanting, then you have to follow these rules about the 10 offenses on chanting. Of course, obviously, the 4 regulated principles. But we find that Srila Prabhupada engaged people in chanting the holy name even before they were following the 4 regulated principles. If you look at some of the videos of the early days in the Krishna conscious movement, there were people definitely high or low, as the case may be, pretty high when they were dancing and chanting, and Prabhupada was leading the kirtan. So Prabhupada was actually manifesting, personifying in his manifestation that the holy name, the chanting of the holy name has no hard and fast Vedic rules. Also, another important point, many important points in this particular verse, is that the reason we don't have attachment is because we're committing offenses. Okay, next verse. Aneka lokera vansha aneka prakara kripate karila aneka namera prachara. Because people vary in their desires, you have distributed various holy names by your mercy. In other words, people have different Ishta Devatas, like worshipable deities. Some people worship Lord Nrsingadev, some people worship Lord Varaha, some people worship Lord Ram, like many of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, or at least some of them, like Murari Gupta and Anupama, they were devotees of Lord Ram. So each and every holy name connects one to a particular manifestation or avatar or expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Kaite Shwite Yatat Chata Namalaya Kaladesha Diyama Nagi Sarva Siddhihaya. Regardless of time or place, one who chants the holy name even while eating or sleeping attains all perfection. Prabhupada one time said that if you want to eat all day long, you could just chant Hare Krishna between each bite. So, of course, I don't know how productive that would be for your good health. So, Sarva Shakti Name Dila Kariya Vibhaga Amara Durdaiva Name Nahi Anuraga. You've invested your full potencies in each individual holy name. But I'm so unfortunate that I have no attachment for chanting your holy names. Text 20. Let's see. Oh, not much time. Ye rupe laile nama prema upachaya tahara lakshana shuna sarupa rama raiha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, O Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy, hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to awaken very easily one's dormant love for Krishna. Here's how to chant. Text 21. Another verse. Trinadapi sunichena tarodhivasi shrina manina manadena kirtaniya siddhahari. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Text 22. Uttamahana Panake Mane Trinadamha Dvi Prakara Sahishnuta Kare Vriksha Sama. These are the symptoms of one who chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Although he is very exalted, he thinks himself lower than the grass on the ground. And like a tree, he tolerates everything in two ways. Very interesting. So, of course, these are Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's purports to his Shikshashtaka verses. Vriksha yena katileha kichuna bulaya shukana maileha kare panina moggiha. When a tree is cut down, it does not protest, and even when drying up, it does not ask anyone for water. Ye ye mangiye tare dea apanadana gara vrishti sahe anera kariye rakshana. The tree delivers its fruits, flowers, and whatever else it possesses to anyone and everyone. It tolerates scorching heat and torrents of rain, yet it still gives shelter to others. In other words, our compassion should not be conditioned upon how people are reciprocating or not reciprocating or adversely reciprocating with us. Our compassion should be causeless. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu. And if you are feeling like that, then you'll begin to be able to chant the holy name properly. It's not artificial, of course. Uttamahana Vaisnavahabe Nirabhimana Jive Samana Dive Jane Krishna Adhisthana. Although Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respect to everyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. Amazing chapter. E mata hanaye Krishna namalaya Shri Krishna charane tanra prema upajaya. If one chants the holy name of Lord Krishna in this manner, he will certainly, let me just repeat that word, certainly awaken his dormant love for Krishna's lotus feet. What is the manner? Chernadapisa niche na haroi vasihishna mani na manadena kirtaniya siddhahari. or is mentioned in the Bible, the meek shall inherit the earth. Of course, at the same time, that doesn't mean to have so much low self-esteem you become depressed. As I often say, and I mentioned this last night too, one should think less of themselves, should think of themselves less, not think less of themselves. In other words, someone who is always thinking of themselves, oh, woe is me, singing the blues, that is another type of self-centeredness. So, certainly awaken his dormant love for Krishna's lotus feet. Kahite, kahite, Prabhu, Dainya Vadila, Shura Bhakti Krishna Tani, Magite Lagila. As Lord Chaitanya spoke in this way, his humility increased, and he began praying to Krishna that he could discharge pure devotional service. Lord Chaitanya's humility. I mean, this is not just an act. He was personally experiencing this in the mood of a devotee, showing us how to be a devotee. It's like Prabhupada said sometimes that Lord Chaitanya is like the teacher who goes to the blackboard and says to the class, "Oh, class, how much is 1 and 1?" And he appears to be adding the sum up himself, but actually he's testing and showing the students by example. So here's a very wonderful verse. They're all wonderful. Premera svabhava yahan, premera sambandha, semane Krishna mora, nahi prema gandha. Whenever there is a relationship of love of Godhead, its natural symptom is that the devotee does not think of himself a devotee. Instead, he always thinks that he has not even a drop of love for Krishna. Wow. And the purport is quite interesting. We should read, because we're not going to have much time. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that persons who are actually very poor because they possess not even a drop of love of Godhead or pure devotional service falsely advertise themselves as great devotees, although they cannot at any time relish the transcendental bliss of devotional service. A class of so-called devotees known as Prakrita Sahajas sometimes display devotional symptoms to exhibit their good fortune. They are pretending, however, because these devotional features are only external. The Prakrita Sahajas exhibit these symptoms to advertise their so-called advancement in love of Krishna, but instead of praising the Prakrita Sahajas for their symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, pure devotees do not like to associate with them. It is not advisable to equate the Prakrita Sahajas with pure devotees. When one is actually advanced in ecstatic love of Krishna, he does not try to advertise himself. Instead, he endeavors more and more to render service to the Lord, because that reminds me of the pastime when there was a snake charmer who was chanting a particular snake mantra, and Haridas Thakur was listening and remembering Ananta Shesh, and Haridas Thakur just went into the center of the assembly and was rolling on the ground in ecstasy and happy, and the snake charmer stood to the side and respected Haridas Thakur. And then there was a Brahmin there who became envious of Haridas Thakur and began to exhibit symptoms of ecstasy in the same way as Haridas Thakur did, but just externally. And then the snake charmer, instead of respecting him, kicked him. And the Brahmin said, "Why'd you kick me and not kick Haridas Thakur?" And snake charmer said, "Because you were just imitating." So many times we find imitation ecstasy, so we have to be careful about that. So if you're actually a devotee, in other words, you will not consider yourself to be a devotee. You'll consider yourself to be an aspiring devotee, but not actually a devotee. As Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that if I actually had devotion for Krishna, how can I live? How can I maintain this life? The Prakrita Sahajas sometimes criticize pure devotees by calling them philosophers, learned scholars, knowers of the truth, or minute observers, but not devotees. On the other hand, they depict themselves as the most advanced, transcendently blissful devotees, deeply absorbed in devotional service and mad to taste the transcendental mellows. They also describe themselves as the most advanced devotees in spontaneous love, or knowers of transcendental mellows, as the topmost devotees in conjugal love of Krishna and so on, not actually knowing the transcendental nature of love of Godhead. They accept their material emotions as indicative of advancement. In this way, they pollute the process of devotional service. To try to become writers of Vaishnava literature, they introduce their material conceptions of life into pure devotional service. Because of their material conceptions, they advertise themselves as knowers of the transcendental mellows, but they do not understand the transcendental nature of devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Nandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham
Namo Vishnu Vajaya Krishna Prishnaya Mutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Samaniti Namane Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Praja, Negi Nirvisesha, Shunyamani, Matsya Jagati Satarane. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Kalana Siva Sati Gauravani Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Siva Sati Gauravani Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Siva Sati Gauravani Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Siva Sati Gauravani Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare